good evening and welcome. It's my pleasure once again to be able to provide you updates regarding the effort you're making to travel out of the country, get to the UK, learn, teach, earn good money, and of course, have the opportunity to take better care of yourself and the people who you have a responsibility to take care of. What we intend to do this evening is to give you the advantage of realizing that indeed, whatever may be the obstacles, you have what it takes to overcome them. The fact that you come from a position of disadvantage where your family lacks the means, the financial muscle to pick up all the bills as at today for you to be able to actualize your dream of traveling to the UK to go and work or to go and study prior to working there. That challenge, that obstacle shouldn't stop you because as we have mentioned in the past, there's hardly anyone who has attained any lofty height who didn't also have very significant obstacles to overcome. So you are not alone when it comes to people who are experiencing challenges and who, in the face of their challenges, are still desirous of having access to good quality life, especially for a teacher who has made an effort to attain the level you have attained in terms of the academic and professional credentials and work experience. And so if you have come this far, you can do more. You can take the next step to actualize your dream of working in the UK. I must emphasize indeed that it is a possibility that you get in there. Or that has been a wall, you are stronger in terms of your present financial circumstances compared to when I made the move to travel out of Nigeria to go and study in the UK and also work there. And now I do education research and international development across the world, moving to diverse countries and working to my colleagues in diverse climes, trying to make our world a better place through empowering teachers to acquire the skills they need to be able to use the classrooms they're on to transform lives. It's my desire that you are going to be the next person who will find the opportunity to travel to the UK or travel to any other country you want to go and do what you want to do and to improve the quality of life available to you, and also become an instrument in the hands of God to bless your spouse and bless other members of your family and probably your friends or even the school where you work now. And nobody should feel guilty about trying to make the effort to travel. I know some school owners will be very reluctant to support their teachers to make this effort. But I want to encourage you to give the best support to your teachers because it's really, ultimately it's not a loss because you can work out the means by which their teacher who travels to the UK becomes a trainer who maybe once a week, giving you 2 hours on each of the questions the person meets other teachers who are in Nigeria to train them, to help them with ideas he or she is gathering from the UK to help improve the quality of teaching you make available to children and the quality of service available to all the parents who patronize your school. That way, you will get better patronage because your school would, through one person who has moved with your support to go abroad and learn the best ideas and acquire the latest teaching techniques, that way your school will become a primus inter pares in the community where you run your educational institution. So yes, in the short run, it may look like you're losing, but ultimately it becomes a gain. And that's what we mean by brain gain, which economists understand and promote. So brain drain is not something we should be afraid of. Most countries in the world that have moved forward because they are first sponsored their citizens to go to other countries where education is done better, to learn, acquire the best skills possible. And then they looked back, some of them have gone back home to get involved in developing their countries. And those who have remained abroad are sending money to empower those who have remained back at home. And with modern technology, they are engaging people back home in a very mutually beneficial way, helping them to learn better ways to do the work they are doing. And I think that is an honorable thing to do. And of course, for you, benefiting from the support you're getting from your school owner. When you get abroad, don't forget where you're coming from. Don't lose sight of the fact that you didn't get there without people supporting you, your family and your school owner, who obviously is going to write a letter to support your employment in the UK. So when you begin to succeed, do not forget the people who have helped you to get to where you, eventually you hope you're going to get. Don't use one of your legs to push away the ladder that took you there. And I know that so many people around the world have the tendency to behave like that. At the time they are desiring to get somewhere, they seek all the support, they make all the requests, asking people to help them. And once they begin to succeed, you see them forgetting that they got there through the help of people, and some of them even begin to think that they made it alone. And you hear people talk about, being self-made. I'm a self-made woman. I'm a self-made man. We don't have evidence that supports that. Nobody's self-made. Yeah, you can't give yourself everything you're looking for. Some people write, recommendation letters to support you. Some people lend you money. Some people give you opportunity to acquire experience. Your family members pick up some of the responsibilities you should pick up while you're working to accomplish your heart desires. And so even Nigeria, that doesn't look like it's working, you also, one way or the other, have benefited from the education system here. It may not be the best, but indeed it's some help. I tell you, that education, if you were to pay for all of it, especially if you pass through the public school system, you probably would not be a university graduate today or an SC holder. And so even Nigeria, don't write Nigeria off. People like us have not written Nigeria off. I have a lot of grievances that I have against politicians, but not necessarily against the country, because I know when you take politicians out of the way, then Nigeria is a great country in terms of potentials. But those politicians too need our help. Most of the things they do out of ignorance. And so it's our responsibility as teachers to, through the kind of channels and platforms that God gives us, engage our local communities and the larger society with ideas that can help them to recognize that the opportunity they have to get into public spaces to lead and to serve, our opportunities graciously coming to them to make a positive difference, not just in the lives of themselves and their immediate family, but also in the lives of members of the larger society. And when we say larger society today, we talk about our common humanity. So the people you get opportunity to look after have gone beyond even people just in your local government or in your state, or even in Nigeria. Some of us have responsibilities to make things happen positively, living in the UK, in the United States of America, in Saudi Arabia, in Ghana, in Cameroon, in Chad, in Ethiopia, in Indonesia, in Brazil, in China. Even the countries you think have got everything going for them. When you do the kind of work I do as an education researcher globally, doing comparative education, you will realize that you still have contributions you can make to improve the quality of education available to UK citizens and even to those in the United States of America. As a specialist in higher education research, I have come to realize that US, for example, remains a country where a lot of people want to go to university, but they are not able to get there because of the absence of good quality career management service to them. Even the UK that you want to go to, in some sense, also has similar challenges. So out of every 10 young people who want to go to university, probably not more than 6 are going to get there. So there's still a gap that people like us are filling with the right research we do and with the information we provide and with the network we develop, which involves people in the UK, in Finland, in Norway, in Denmark, in Brazil, in Austria, and in several other countries around the world where I have my colleagues I work with, and we are making a very determined effort to ensure that every child in the world gets access to good quality education. And for me, more particularly teachers who are at the center of providing good quality education to young people, I think that they deserve a better deal the average Nigerian teacher is not getting the best and he or she deserves. And I think that one of the reasons why that is the case is not necessarily because government is not doing enough. We know that is taken for granted. Government is not doing enough. And I also know that employers are not paying enough. But at the root of the teacher's problem is lack of information. Because if you have the right information, even when you earn only 25,000 naira, you will discover that you can have access to information, resources worth millions of naira. So sometimes it's even a blessing not to be comfortable, because when you are uncomfortable as a result of not earning as much as you should earn, you are encouraged, you are put under pressure by difficult circumstances, very frustrating experiences to look for a way to get out of where you are. And in the process of doing that, you locate. Sometimes opportunities that have always been there, just that you have not been, wearing the right lenses to survey your environment. And by the time you open your eyes and see the opportunities around you, what you find might be helpful not only to you and your immediate family, but also to other people who are living with those kinds of problems. So my experience tells me very clearly that one of the reasons I believe, God permits us to go through some difficult experiences, because he realizes and knows in clear terms that we are the ones who, after we have been able to solve the problem confronting us, will be in a position to also mount a campaign, get into advocacy that will empower other people to also be able to resolve their own problems. And so this evening, I'll be helping you with ideas that will get you to realize that if what looks like is standing in your way is the lack of money or lack of the right credentials. So, for example, the opportunity the UK is giving for Nigerian teachers to come over and become teachers in the UK is principally available to those who have already qualified as teachers in Nigeria, especially in the STEM and language areas. And by STEM, we are referring to, for those of you who are not very familiar with those concepts, but I think that every teacher should be, we are referring to, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And of course, included in the areas of need for the UK particularly, are languages other than English language, German, Italian, Japanese, Mandarin, and of course Spanish and those kinds of languages. So the people who have learned them, can speak them, can write them, and can teach them are also blessed, and they can get to the UK to go and work. But if you haven't qualified in the STEM area, you still have a chance. Early childhood education, you specialize in maybe civic education, music education, any other area that you have trained in, you still do have a chance. That you don't teach STEM does not mean that you cannot travel out and go and work. And the only thing is that you have to be realistic and work with facts and be very systematic in your approach to getting out of the country. And so step one would be for you to do a needs analysis of yourself. What do you need? So if you are not in STEM, what can you do to still get to the United Kingdom? As we have mentioned in the past, a number of options are available to you, and you don't need more than a year to get out. One of those options would be, no matter what you have studied, to go to the UK and do a post-graduate certificate in education. And it doesn't take more than a year to finish that program. And even if you didn't have education background, you can just go to the UK and spend just 1 year, and then you do your PGCE and you get into the school system and you start practicing. And if that is not an option you want to consider, you can also go and do a master's, in education. That is not necessarily for regular teachers. That's for people who are making provision for other options. So when you finish, you can choose to go and look around in the school system and see if you can teach. Yeah, but if that's what you have done, master's in education, you probably will still need to go and do the regular training as a teacher in the UK, because it doesn't work there the way it works here. So, so you can consider that option. But the people who generally consider that option are people who are looking more in the direction of playing leadership roles in the school system. And so if you don't want to just be a classroom teacher, you would like to be a leader, heading a department, or setting up a school eventually, either in the UK or when you return to Nigeria. The smart thing to do is to probably look at courses like Masters in Education Leadership, masters in pedagogy and several other kinds of areas that you may want to consider, or masters in your specialty, and maybe physics, chemistry, biology, political science, philosophy, whatever it is that you are interested in. Philosophy of education is an area that we don't seem to have very good hands in Nigeria. That's one of the reasons why we're struggling. So you can travel out and go and do a master's in philosophy of education, and do also a PhD in that area, and become one of the people who will lead the effort to give Nigerian education the appropriate philosophy that will make us help the government and education leaders back home in Nigeria to understand the indispensable place of education in moving the country forward, because it does look like our politicians don't yet understand how critical education is as an instrument for transforming the country and dealing with political problems, social problems, economic problems, and helping our children to acquire cutting-edge technology skills so that they can finish from universities and become entrepreneurs who set up their own businesses and use modern technology to scale those businesses to be able to employ their mates rather than sitting down there and waiting for people to employ them. And so these are some of the things you need to consider. So you can look at that option and don't sit down and insist on only trying to get that through the qualified teacher status, because you may not have everything you need now. For example, if you're not in STEM or you haven't done TRCN certification, it shouldn't stop you from going to the UK now. If you start the application process this month, within the next 2 months, you should have an admission offer. And then by about August, you can travel out, get into the UK. And by September, you're in the classroom. You study for about a year and you get certification you can use to work in the UK. Or you can change your mind and say, well, I see wonderful opportunities in Nigeria. I want to go back home. And with all that I have learned, I can make a difference back home and even earn much more money. And I tell you that it's happening. Those of you who monitored the British Council organized award ceremony yesterday, I was there, and several of us who have had the privilege to study in the UK are back home in Nigeria and helping to make a huge difference here. Some of us are professors in university. Some of us have established hospitals and have branches across the country. I spoke with a professor of public health who teaches at Bayero University yesterday, and he says he's not even considering returning to the UK because he's in love with the work he's doing in Nigeria. I spoke with a medical doctor who was also in the UK, for graduate training after getting MBBS in Nigeria, and he's back home. He has about 3 hospitals, and he has several other businesses that enable him to supply hospital equipment to other hospitals. And so he is a multi-millionaire now, just because he got that advantage of studying in the UK. And several other people in the room yesterday, where we had the opportunity to interact with the Deputy High Commissioner Lagos of the British High Commission in Nigeria. We interacted with them, the people who run British Council. They are all happy that some of us made the sacrifice to go and invest their effort and money to get good quality education, and we're back home making a difference and helping other Nigerians to have access to similar high quality education. So look at life with an open mind. It's excellent to go to the UK and take some of the routes I have mentioned to get good quality education. But please recognize that indeed, UK is not the only place where you can make money. The reason why you should go is because they have very high quality higher education. And so if you receive it, after some time, you might discover that the 30 million that is available for you to earn in a year may be something you can earn in a month. If you take that knowledge you're going to get there and come back home and establish a school. There are school owners in Nigeria who are billionaires, and that shouldn't be strange to you. Schools like, Grange, Avicenna, Green Springs, and similar high-profile schools. The people who own those places are billionaires. Some of them are approaching billionaires even in dollar terms, just because they have had the privilege to move around the world, learn some things, and they came back here and they have established schools where they are providing the kind of education they are providing, which parents are making sacrifices to send their children to. And so they have become, very successful in their own rights, not just by way of making money, but also by way of being associated with the success stories of so many people who have passed through those kinds of places to get to where they want to be. And I'm one of those people who are privileged, to have benefited from that kind of education, and I'm back home and have set up systems that are benefiting millions of people across the world, directly and indirectly. Even the opportunity you have to listen to me this evening is as a result of the education I received in the UK. And they didn't just stay there and just earn money, but I have also come back home and move around the world from time to time to share ideas and learn more, and also come back to Nigeria to help people to up their game, not just teachers. I also help teenagers to secure scholarships to go abroad. And so many of them getting such opportunities to go to the US to study absolutely for free. And some of them who don't have excellent academic credentials can get about half of their fees waived. But those who have excellent academic credentials, like, if you have A's in all your science subjects and you have held leadership positions as a young person, as a teenager, if you come to the platform that Nigerian Teachers has provided, we'll work with you for about 2 months and we'll show you around, and you'll be able to get out of the country and you can study absolutely for free, going even into places like Harvard and Oxford. And so this week, we are going to make that opportunity available to both teachers and, of course, teenagers and school owners to see if they want to explore some of the opportunities that are available abroad. As a teacher, you can actually gain fellowships to go and study abroad for free if you know what to do. And this coming Thursday, we have an event here in Ikeja in Lagos. You are not going to pay to attend, but we won't be able to cater for everyone. So what we are going to do is to give that opportunity to the first set of people who approach us and meet the minimum conditions. I will send out that message tomorrow morning as early as 9 a.m. So look at it. It's a full day program on Thursday. So teachers who are going abroad to go and pick up jobs in the UK will give you opportunity to come and learn how to mobilize the money you need to be able to actualize your dream. Because it takes a plan. It takes utilizing your network. The money is there, but we just keep complaining about Nigeria is hard. Nigeria is hard. If you were in the room where I was yesterday, grand ballroom at the Eco Hotel, you wouldn't believe that Nigeria is hard, because the people in that room are all people who are succeeding and excelling in the things they are doing, and that's fantastic, really. And you won't believe that there are fellow Nigerians like you who are doing businesses that are very successful. So we encourage you to have an open mind. Join us on Thursday. I will give you the link to make a decision to join us on Thursday. That program is going to be available for free. So we are bringing the Export Promotion Council of Nigeria State Coordinator for Oyo State to come and help you with ideas on how to mobilize your money through the opportunities that are lying there which you haven't seen. So she is going to talk to us regarding some of the platforms federal government has created, but which everybody seems to throw away because we assume nothing coming from government can be good. That's not true. I worked in government myself, for about 10 years before I ventured, traveled out of the country and now doing things using other platforms. I tell you, a lot of times government provides things that people ignore, but which can empower you and make you a millionaire. So there are opportunities that the government provides that some of us can screen and confirm are appropriate for you. So come and utilize them as from this Thursday to mobilize the millions you need, because the money you need to go to the UK, whether or not you are going through the qualified teacher status, you will need significant amount of money. Your flight ticket is not going to cost you, only 50,000 naira. You need a lot of money to do that. You need money to process your documents. You need money to take your family along. So we want to help. And that event, we are going to hold it for free for the teachers who are going to be able to make it. We might be able to cater for about 100, teachers who will be able to join us at Ikeja Lagos. It's absolutely for free. All you need to do is to make sure you have your lunch money because we are going to take care of accommodation and the venue where the thing will happen. So, put a little money in your pocket. So we are not going to determine how you eat when you come. So it's just your responsibility to put money for your snacks. So when we give you a break, you can go anywhere you find in Ikeja, take a bottle of mineral, take some snack, and return to the classroom. So we are going to give you opportunity to learn from the masters. And then we are bringing a baker who is going to teach you for free how to turn bakery into a business. And if you haven't baked before and you would like to bake for your family and bake for the school, and become the supplier of the snacks that children eat in your school. You are going to learn that for free. We're bringing a baker who will join us on Thursday to come and teach you all of that for free, and point you to in the directions that will enable you to join a network of people who will help you to continue to learn. That is also going to be possible. And we have worked out an arrangement with an examination body that will give you a license to be able to practice, one of the professions that will help you to promote schools. So will you get the details about that when you come in on Thursday? And so you become a consultant in the area of school promotion, acquire marketing skills, acquire publication skills, acquire advertising skills, learn how to use internet platforms to do the things you want to do, and make money. There are millions available on the internet. Unfortunately, the average teacher is not aware. We just sit down there and complain about our school owners and our employers and complain about government. No, you can take yourself out of a hole, if you just happen to find yourself there, because nobody is just holding you down. It's you that has, as a result of not having the right information, stayed in the place where you shouldn't be. So we are going to change that on Thursday, and then don't tell us, you will be teaching that day, you will not have opportunity, transport money to come. It's a program that should cost you a minimum of 200,000 naira if you have to pay to attend it, but we're going to give it to you for free. So if you give excuses, we are not going to repeat it because it's going to cost a lot of money to deploy it. The value of the program in terms of cost implications for us will run into millions, and you're not paying a dime unless you choose to bring in some snacks for other participants, which is welcome, but it's not compulsory. If you can't afford to bring anything, that's fine. You're welcome to come. And so that is going to be possible. And then if you teach in a school where you have children who are bright and they are in STEM, they are doing well in physics and chemistry, biology and mathematics, including further mathematics, we welcome you to invite them to come along. We'll give you the details. We are not going to have them all day, and they don't need more than about 1 hour of briefing. And so we'll give the timetable, send the timetable out tomorrow morning so those young people can come. We are interested in those in STEM who are in senior school currently. We'll give them information for free on how to prepare to secure scholarships in the UK, in Canada, in Germany, in other parts of Europe, as well as in the United States of America. One of the challenges we have in Nigeria is the absence of career management system. So it's when students finish secondary school that they start looking for how to go to university. That's the wrong time to start thinking about your higher education. If you think about your higher education far ahead of time, in fact, my own children, we started thinking about their higher education before they were age 2. So in selecting their schools, we made effort to think about the kind of environments they needed to grow up in, not just in terms of the schools they attended, but also in terms of where the kind of community we are going to live in, to be able to make them think in very productive ways about how they can be useful global citizens. And it turned out that we are not wrong. We made the right choices before they came up to a point where they can join us to make decisions. And then when they grew up to teenage years, they joined us to make some important decisions about their careers. I have got 2 children, and as we speak today, both of them are very happy studying in the US, and both of them were able to get out there, on scholarship. And in the communities where they function in the US, they are highly respected and, are assisted by the universities, where they school. And that's because they took some schools away from Nigeria. I trained them in diverse kinds of areas, not just for them to get, good grades in physics, mathematics, and biology. I trained them in public relations. I trained them, to learn to be independent. I trained them in leadership, and I paid to send them to camps. And I told my wife, we shouldn't worry and visit them in camps anytime they leave home. It's part of how they can learn independence. I trained them in computing much earlier, in their career as young people. At the age of 9, both of them had become Microsoft certified. And I bought them computers very early at the age of 6, and I trained them on how to use their computers productively. I also gave them internet access and trained them on how to use internet, opportunities available on the internet. And that has paid off. So today they know what to do when they're on the internet. They know when people are trying to lure them into things that are not productive. And so they are very focused. Sometimes on their own, they will uninstall even the apps that young people use to waste time on the internet, like Instagram, because they have exams to write, they have scholarships to pursue, they have books they are working on to write, and and those kinds of things. So they know what to do with the resources that we are giving them. So the idea There are children who have access to modern devices, there are children who are going to waste all the time in the world. The reason why that happens is because we are not training them on how to use those devices. And then I hear some parents say, children who go to America, they don't look back. They won't remember their children. They are what? They are spoiled children. They can't do this. That's when there are no career management, system to support what you want to achieve as a family or as a school. And so my own children are benefiting from, excellent education abroad, and I don't live in the same city with them. And we talk every day. This evening, when I'm done with this, presentation I'm making now, I'm still going to have, conversations with them. We plan about their future. One is graduating this year. He's going to be thinking about his graduate school and how do we get there. So we work together, and they have not forgotten that they have parents. So those ideas that you read on the internet, have children get abroad and they forget that they have parents back home in Nigeria, that's not correct. It has to do with parents not managing these things in a very proactive way. We wait until children, get to the age of 18 before we start teaching them the basic things of life. It won't work for most people. So if you want to get the best things of life, especially with respect to your children, you have to start early. So children, young people, teenagers who are in school. So if you teach in a school where there are young people who are doing well in STEM, physics, mathematics, chemistry, and biology, and in the English language, we welcome about 5 of the top students in your school. For free, we'll give them ideas on how to secure scholarship when they finish secondary school. So we take from SS1 to SS3. Or those who recently finished secondary school, they can also join, but they have to, that information has to come to us in advance. So after this meeting, you can send me a WhatsApp message, to say that your school would like to send 5 people, and we'll be happy to accommodate them. We can't take 30 from one school, because that would make it difficult for other schools to also benefit from that. So, so across the 3 levels, you can send maybe 2 from SS1, 2 from SS2, maybe 3 from SS3. We can handle that, provided you are among the first set of people to approach it, because we are not likely to be able to cater for more than 100 on Thursday. So those things are going to happen. And then if you don't have Excel skills, in preparing for your interview to go and teach in UK schools, you need to find a way to learn Excel, because you're going to do a lot of planning that would require you using those kinds of apps to be able to do what you have to do for your school, especially if you hope to move quickly along the ladder, to get to leadership position. Then you have to acquire excellent Microsoft skills, learning how to do PowerPoint presentations excellently, not the way we do it in Nigeria, because most of the PowerPoint presentations I see in Nigeria, even when they are done by professors, those things are not PowerPoint presentation. They are Word documents that we use PowerPoint to communicate. And so that's not PowerPoint presentation. It's too wordy, and it's not really PowerPoint. So those things, you have to learn to become very familiar with how to use those kinds of tools. We'll give you Excel skill for free on Thursday. We'll send out the links tomorrow morning for you to register for that. And that is going to happen. We won't take for that maybe more than about 20, because of the fact that you need to own a computer, and you need to own a computer, a laptop, to be able to benefit from that. You also need to bring a smartphone along, and you need to have access to internet in terms of having data. So those are conditions you have to meet, because if we're going to teach you Excel, we are not going to launch Excel on on a phone that is not smart, or on a computer that doesn't have Microsoft Office. So load Microsoft Office on your system. If you don't have it already, try and get a computer if you can borrow one, but make sure it works, and charge it fully. Make sure that it can last for 2 hours while you're working with us. Don't look forward to charging it in the system, because we may not be able to give you access to charging your device while you're here. It's going to be cumbersome, because if you have 20 people in a hall and everybody wants to plug something somewhere, that won't be a realistic expectation. What we promise is that we are going to give you opportunity to learn those things for free, and that will work for you. And then for those who want to learn baking and turn it into a business that will generate you millions, yeah, somebody is coming to also do that for free. So at this point, having made those clarifications, in the next 1 minute, I'll give you opportunity to ask questions. But before you do that, if you are not have strong presence on the internet, presence, I mean, you are not on Twitter, you are not on LinkedIn, you are shortchanging in terms of opportunities that are coming through those channels that you are missing. You need to learn how to post there. If you platform as a member of Nigerian Teachers, which is on Facebook, facebook.com/group/Nigerian Teachers. If you are not there, you're also changing yourself. You can become a content provider, and with time you become popular on the platform because you're posting things that are useful, and we are happy to promote your side hustle for free on our platform. And most of the things we do are for free because we know that teachers don't earn a lot of money. Even if you do, we don't mind. The more we give, the happier we become because we think that it's an honorable thing to empower people. And especially when God has given us the opportunity to have, to have people who have also helped us along the way. So we are making an effort to also help as many people as possible along the way. And God has blessed, me over the years. In the past, 40 years thereabout, I have been instrumental to several lives being transformed, not just in thousands, but I tell you in hundreds of thousands and in millions across the world. So we want you to also come and join us to begin to provide this kind of opportunities to other people. So that is something we're going to do. We promise you we're going to do that. So by way of summary, please get on, look for, if you go to Twitter, search for Dr. Peter Ogudoro on Twitter and follow me so that when we have opportunities that come that we can't communicate to you the way we are doing now, because this is not something we can promise you all the time. It costs us money. We have a large team that makes this conversation possible for you, and it costs money to make these things happen, and it's an inconvenience. On a Sunday we leave our homes and we come and sit down in the studio to ensure that we enjoy our conversation with you. So so make the best use of it. So after some time, you may be getting more information from my Twitter account. Also, join my network on LinkedIn. It costs you nothing. If you look at the chat box, you're likely to find my chat in my LinkedIn address. LinkedIn.com/in/Peter Ogudoro. If you click on it, it takes you to LinkedIn. It just asks for connection. So if I see your request within 24 hours from now, I will accept you. But thereafter, I'm very careful about the people I accept coming to my network. But you can come into my network today. And if you haven't watched the video on the opportunities available for teacher training at the University of Reading, which we released in the course of last week, the smart thing to do is to go and watch it immediately after this conversation, because it will clear you for access to the next video we are going to provide, especially if you didn't participate in the conference we had recently, where we had the Director of Education and Research of the Chartered College of Teaching in the UK, who came in to interact with us and shared ideas. So we have been able to produce a video that reflects all the ideas that she shared with us in terms of competencies you need to be able to excel in the UK. And then she's on standby to welcome you to the UK and help you with ideas on how to get good jobs if you want to change the job that will take you out of Nigeria, and how to continue to learn. If you're a student in the UK, a student by that I mean, even if you already have a first degree, but you get into the UK to go and do a teacher training program, Chartered College of Teaching in the UK will allow you to register for free. And then when you start working, you register. But from Nigeria, you can also register with them. So we will make that information available via YouTube tomorrow. And the way to be smart is to watch the University of Reading presentation that enables you to know all the potential available there. And before you even start watching, subscribe to that video, so that automatically when I post the one coming from Chartered College of Teaching tomorrow, you will get a notification.